This NFL Picks Week 11 edition of the Sports Gambling Podcast is brought to you by Bet365. Bet365 is offering new users $1,000 no sweat bet. Sign up today at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/bet365. We're also brought to you by Hall of Fame Bets, the sports betting research platform for parlays, player props, and game lines. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app or visit HOFBets.com. Use code SGPN to get 50% off your first month and start making smarter bets today. We're also brought to you by Game Time. Game Time has last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Use promo code SGPN for $20 off your first purchase. And in honor of Veterans Day, everything in the merch store is 10% off with the promo code VETS. All proceeds from this sale will be donated to Mission 22, a nonprofit serving those who have served.
This is Brian Bosworth, aka The Boz, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it ride, brother. Peace out. Boz out.
Cox. He's one of those guys who will get penetration.
Welcome everyone to the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, stacking the money green with my partner in picks, Ryan, Real Money Kramer. What's happening, Kramer?
Dog.
Hello, Canada. Hey.
Why are you saying hello, Canada, Ryan?
I'm just rocking this beautiful, very comfortable Winnipeg Blue Bomber shirt. You want a quick aside?
Sure.
At the vet hospital this morning with the dog. Nothing.
Okay.
Just
because we are celebrating Veterans Day all week with a great merch sale. Proceeds going to Mission 22.
Oh, nice. Yeah. So different.
So just to be clear, vet hospital, people might think veterans.
In this strange situation, the vet is also a veteran.
Oh, okay. Oh, really?
So yeah.
Oh, yes, we have the same vet. Yeah.
And that's
a great it's quick sidebar. That's an
guy?
amazing. Yes. That's an amazing Ollie G episode where he's if people haven't watched Ollie G, the old school Ollie G's are right up there with the Simpsons of like all time classics.
Gotta watch that
He goes up to the the vet. Yeah. He's asking veterans of war about like animal questions.
Yeah,
it's so good.
It's an all time, just the premise is just unmatched. That's honestly the Ali G stuff. If you go back and watch it, what's unmatched is the premises. It's an all-star list of just like, that's a funny premise.
Yeah, it's a great scenario, well executed.
So
but I didn't mean to step on your vet.
I'm at the vet who's a vet who you also know, and this is pertinent because we're sitting there and just chatting it up, having a nice conversation. He's a friendly guy, and he sees the Winnipeg thing. It turns out he's from Wyoming. Start chopping it up about Winnipeg Blue. Now, next thing you know, get into the sports gambling talk, and you do a sports gambling podcast. I'm like, yeah, you should check it out. He's like, what kind of sports do you cover? My son-in-law is really into all the sports, and I'm like, you name it, we got it. He goes, you guys got NASCAR, and I go, oh yeah,
oh yes.
So
might have got Rod and Cody a nice subscriber.
I think the vet is maybe listening right now. So
shout out. And Ryan was the one who recommended me to the veterinarian office. Great place, Ryan. What's the name of it?
All
right, maybe he doesn't want it out there.
Well, yeah, that and I there's a bunch that all have similar names.
You're right, because I've accidentally gone to the one that sounds very similar.
Very similar. And on the front of animals, I do want to give a special shout out to the anonymous platypus and the anonymous Wolverine. Currently watching the show via the Google Sheet. They're gonna see our picks go in.
That
live.
is electric. Seeing the sheet, because if you do have access to the sheets, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon, and you're watching the show live on YouTube, you can see us enter the picks, and you'll see. Kramer and I don't put our picks in, and I have some definite leans before the show. They turn into picks live in front of you because I don't like to put the picks in because I want to hear Ryan's take. I want to talk it out. I'm open to hearing what the chat has to say.
I think that's the whole premise. I mean, the whole premise of the show is workshopping some stuff. So yeah, I think I would say that I generally have a good idea, but yeah, opinions are changed live as we talk.
Yes.
Which, but I will say another kind of aside. We are my cousins took in a show, and that was the one thing that blew my not cousin Mush, but cousin Mush's brother's mind was blown. He's like, so you just talked about football for an hour, and you didn't plan any of that.
No, we did not. We did not plan any of it. Brian, we got a couple things to get to before we even get to the picks, including a surprise entry to this week's edition of Real Men of Degens.
SGPN presents Real Men of Degens.
Real men of Degens.
We salute you,
Steven and Lindsay. That's right, Steven and Lindsay. Steven was the one who won the Patreon Pick'em contest.
Shout out to Steven.
Shout out to Steven.
Maybe he's the anonymous Wolverine.
I know what you're saying, Steven and Lindsay. Lindsay, when I asked Steven, I go, what kind of shirt and hat do you want? He said he wanted the Let It Ride hat. And he goes, do you have a Refs Are Terrorists shirt in ladies? My wife is a massive fan. And then I responded back, okay, awesome. And if you remember last week was the ladder prize pack.
Yep.
I responded back, hey, shout out to you, Lindsay. Bird ladder is on the way. And she was fucking excited. So Steven and Lindsay, awesome couple that are real Degens together. So real men and women of Degens this week. And
it's a family affair.
Yes, I love it.
Lifestyle choice.
It was
not for everyone.
It was great because I was ordering the bird ladder. You can see displayed here. Shout out to CJ who got us turned on to bird ladder and the bird.
We've been told there's going to be upgraded bird ladders in the studio.
He does have a rope bird ladder.
You're going to want to tune in to the prop show on Thursday.
But I go to PetSmart to buy the bird ladder online, and immediately credit card gets flagged. Like, I don't know. They must be freaked out seeing all these bird ladders fly off the shelf.
I assume the ATF thinks there's some sort of smuggling operation going on.
They can't just all these people who don't own birds buying bird ladders. What kind of weirdos would do that? But
this is like this is on par with like when the Bills fans show up to a city and all of a sudden they're running out of tables.
Yeah, when we take over a city, Ryan, it's gonna be all the pet stores, the bird ladders, they're all gone. And also bringing up this week's prize. I didn't clear this with Ryan, but I know he's going to be on board. So we do our VSiN show every Friday night from the circuit, 9:00 Pacific on YouTube TV. I was thinking this week's Patreon prize is whoever wins the Pick'em contest from this weekend. I'm going to be out there hanging out with the in-laws the whole week in Vegas. I will. And we, the show, will get you $100 NFL future of your choice. A paper ticket. We'll mail it to you. Kramer and I will autograph it for you if you'd like. And then you have to, if it hits, it's up to you to figure it out. I think you can mail it in, but also just come out and perfect excuse to come out to the Circa Millions.
Just
sign up in the whatever.
Maybe put a pin in March Madness.
Yes, we'll figure it out, but. We'll get you the ticket. We'll mail it to you. So fun prize this week. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon. If you aren't already in there,
I'm already thinking about like someone like Serial. He's probably thinking, well, if I win, I'm going to make him buy a Cowboys future.
Oh man, that would really pain me.
Oh no, I would have someone else do it.
Yes. Yeah. We'll get a runner, Ryan. One of our
no
many
way
runners.
I'm getting involved in that transaction.
That is a disgusting act.
Sir, do you have a player's card? Absolutely not.
That's not going on my card.
Not for this one.
Also, an update on the Second Chance Survivor contest. $3,000 up for grabs. I've been eliminated, Ryan.
Me too.
You have been eliminated. However, our apparently we got some Benedictine fans here in the audience because a lot of them must have had the Cowboys.
Smart fans.
We are down. We didn't lose as many as I thought. We were down to 213 contestants in the Second Chance Survivor. Ryan, off the top of your head, and of course this is Second Chance, started mid-season, so the player pool is a little different. Unlike the Circa, we don't have the Thanksgiving weekend. It counts as a regular part of it. What do you think would be the number one pick this week?
See, I see what you're doing here. You're trying to get it out of the way. We will still talk Survivor at the end, but I think you have the same.
I think it has to be the Dolphins.
Same cast of characters. You have the Dolphins in a smash spot. You have the Niners in a smash spot. Smash. I mean, it's a little bit. We have. I wrote down in my notes separation Sunday because you have a lot of big spreads between teams that are considered to be the class of the league and teams that are considered to not be the class of the league. So, yeah, I'd go Dolphins. I think if you didn't take the Cowboys last week, you could potentially be taking this week. That would be crazy to me. Of the double digit spreads, that's the game I would say maybe don't take them if you haven't taken them already. But Niners and Dolphins, I would expect to both be massive chalk.
Yeah. I would say if I had to guess, Dolphins will be the number one pick.
Well, the dark horse is the Commanders.
Yeah, and we'll get to it when we talk picks.
Well, if you listen to this show, you know the take. It's a simple take. We'll get to it later.
Got a made man, Tommy DeVito.
Which, by the way, can I just say something to the industry? Like the industry, you included.
Oh wow. Okay.
I have your take on Matt Barkley is not unique.
What's my take?
That playing Matt Barkley, who was on the team for a week and a half, would have been a better situation than Tommy DeVito.
I would say.
What are these people talking about?
Matt Barkley's pretty bad. I'll
eliminate you from the pool because I'm going to say something mean right now. These people clearly don't watch football. When you say comments like that, like, "Hey, this shitty quarterback would have been way better than that shitty quarterback," the reality is they all suck. Like, what are you talking? Why do you need a take like this?
Yeah,
it's very odd.
My take would be, I do think Matt Barkley is probably a better quarterback than Tommy DeVito right now. But the Giants, when did they draft? What round did they draft Tommy DeVito?
They didn't draft him.
Yeah, so they believe in him enough to bring him in.
He was a developmental guy that they were hoping to put on the practice squad for.
Yeah, so I'm fine with them running it out with Tommy DeVito, seeing what your season's over.
I'm just shocked by how many people
season's over
had that take. Shocked.
Your season's over. I'm fine with you seeing what you got in Tommy DeVito. What I was annoyed at as a guy who was on the Tommy DeVito rushing yards is clearly the guy has an ability to rush and run the ball and run it decently. Like
Here's your problem.
What?
I'll explain the reason. It's this weird gray area between, he could use his legs more.
Yes.
But the problem is he freaks out the second there's a free rusher. And so there's probably some coaching in there that's like, "Hey dude, keep your eyes downfield."
No, I think they should have done a little bit more design runs, a little bit more boot action, a little bit more read option stuff to get him moving using his legs.
That's also the stuff that got the other quarterbacks murdered because the offensive line breaks down and you have a clear rusher ready to plant him to the turf. Yeah, it's a lose-lose situation. I was more just commenting on how many people had a take on Matt Barkley, a guy who was not on a team 3 weeks ago at this point. All right. I got nothing to up top other than no close your eyes specials this week.
Oh, okay. Always like getting the update on that.
Falcons, Colts, Patriots, and Saints all on bye. I would love to be a fly on the wall in the Patriots facility right now. I don't know if you saw
it's a baby fucking wheel, man.
I don't know if you saw the breaking news from Dan Orlovsky, but apparently he heard that Bill Belichick has a job as a head coach and GM lined up with another NFL team.
Really?
When he leaves the Patriots.
Wow.
I have to imagine that was some sort of trolling.
You never know.
And then the only other thing I had noted, because I think it's interesting. This is we have an insane amount of huge spreads. This is the first time this season, I believe. That's the note I have. I didn't validate it. 6 games greater than a touchdown. 6.
It is weird. It's 6 big spreads and then a bunch of small ones after that. It's real. Because there's a bunch of like 1, 3.
If you include the Jags, which is 7 in some place, it's actually 7 touchdown or more. So,
all right. Hey, let's hop into it. And of course, Bet365. If you haven't signed up with Bet365 yet, what are you waiting for? If you're watching on YouTube, scan the QR code. We got the sign up link in our bio. Bet365, a great book. Really nice prices on there, and of course, a sweet deposit bonus. You can either get the $1,000 no sweat bet, or if you want to just dip your toe, try $5. Bet $5, get $150 in bonus bets. Are you kidding me? You can also go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/bet365. Support the Sports Gambling Podcast and get a sweet bonus. Keep hyping them up, Ryan. The first touchdown price is Really nice over there. Of course, they got same game parlays. Of course, they got profit boosts. Plus, they even have the early payout options for not only the NFL, NBA, soccer. I think there's a bunch of cool stuff in there. I mean, if you're watching on YouTube, they have like the bet boost stuff up there. Bunch of fun ways to get paid. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/bet365. Problem gambling? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. And of course, Little Caesars. Everyone's waiting for me to talk pretzel crust pizza, and I'm not gonna stop. The fans love that delicious, salty, buttery brown, piled high with pepperoni, the chunks of salt. Cannot wait for Thursday Night Football because we're getting Kramer to take some. We're gonna do a pizza photo shoot with Kramer, a real Italian, enjoying some delicious Little Caesars pretzel crust. It is the pretzel crust. I crave it. Marina wants the Italian American in the glasses to do the Little Caesars ad read. Ryan is shy when it comes to reading the ads. But Ryan, give us your thoughts on pretzel crust.
I feel like I'm being maybe I'll dress up like Little Caesar and eat some pretzel crust.
Yes.
No, no one needs to see that. I would say I can't wait. Did you say Thursday?
Thursday night football, perfect time.
We got to do this Sunday.
Okay, Sunday, perfect time because
I can't be eating the pretzel crust before I got the daughter's end of year high school banquet. For volleyball.
Sunday is a good day to go hard on the pretzel crust.
At the country club.
You can take a nice long nap and enjoy that delicious pretzel crust pizza delivery or in store at the Pizza Portal Pickup. Grab some friends, enjoy a few slices during the game. Little Caesars pizza. All right, Kramer, let's go.
Shout out to the chat. Peace and love. Thursday night football. When is we've had? I mean, Al Michaels has been catching shit for like a month straight because the games have sucked, and he's called it out. This one's pretty good. Bengals heading to Baltimore. I see Justin in the jungle is in the chat, giving out pro Ravens trends and then picking the Bengals. Very confusing. Also, check out our Thursday night episode where we had him on. Gave out a banger same game parlay. I personally, my longest ever 7 legs. Well, the Bengals head to Baltimore here where the Ravens are laying 3.5. 46 is the total. Ravens minus 185, Bengals plus 155 going back the other way. Producer Josh continuing to just troll Portnoy, who got a bad price and seems to have jinked the team. And calling out Lamar, echoing, maybe hoping that you'll give him some approval. Just pointing out once again that Baltimore, the Ravens, they are somehow, you can say nice things about them, and you can say mean things about them.
Yes,
but they end up right now where they sit. It's really only those interceptions and mistakes, a little bit like a poor man's Josh Allen, that holds them back at all. And if you remove those, like, holy crap, this could be a great team. This is why we love them as a regular season team, because when the pressure ratchets up, the mistakes are bigger.
Yeah, I think I like Baltimore as a regular season team when they're not in big games, because I'm looking at Lamar Jackson's history, and I know, Ryan, you label me a Lamar Jackson hater, and
you are
maybe to some degree I am, but I just haven't.
Some degree.
What are some like big games that Lamar Jackson put the team on his back and got the win? I don't have a lot of memories of those, and I get it. His stats have been good. They're off to a pretty good start here. He was in the mix for the MVP. I don't know.
Still in the mix for the MVP.
Oh, okay.
You don't think so? I mean, he's in the discussion. If he has a hot stretch, they end up with the most wins in the conference or second. Like, he'll be there at the end of the year. Again, it took a crazy ass play last week even to like be talking about this in the context of like, oh, he's out of the conversation. Yeah,
no, I said he's in the mix. But Joe Burrow as an underdog. Joe Burrow is an underdog at 3 points or more, 15-2 ATS. That's right where I'm starting. And shout out to Justin Wood, who came on for our Thursday night podcast, Thursday night props podcast, and he dubbed Thursday Night Football to be Tyler Night Football, aka Tyler Boyd revenge game. I think this is actually a decent matchup for Joe Mixon against the Ravens here, but I believe in Joe Burrow, and I think this defense is going to create some turnovers. This doesn't feel like a.
All right, so you're just gonna last week's defensive performance was.
Oh, it was a look ahead spot, and I'm pissed at myself for not leaning more into that. Both teams, the Ravens,
544 yards against C.J. Stroud.
Yeah,
7.5 yards of play. I'm just saying, is it like it's only that they were looking ahead because they got whooped, and I would imagine the Ravens offense capable of putting it on teams. I mean, we've seen when the Ravens have looked good, much like that Buffalo Bills analogy, they look really good. I mean, like for example, a couple games ago when they took the Lions, who are a good team, out into the woodshed, and
yeah, I mean there is something there as far as the Ravens looking good against NFC teams. And in hindsight, I should have been all over that bad situation spot for the Lions. The Lions, and the Ravens. I mean, blowing leads like that. I don't know. I just can't trust this Ravens team, honestly. And Ronnie Stanley being out, that is huge for them.
Marlon Humphrey probably out as well.
And I keep going back to it feels like we're back in this, especially with how competitive the AFC North has been this season, where division underdogs. Last decade, AFC North division underdogs 69-46-3. If you're giving this Bengals team points, and I bet it as soon as I saw the 4. I'm like, I'm all over this. I love it at 3.5. Love it at 4 points. I think they're a live dog. I love Joe Burrow as a dog. He's great against the spread after a loss. I think he's a better quarterback, and I think I would not be shocked if they get the win. But I definitely like them to get the cover here at 3.5.
Yeah, I think there's some data out there about like a lot of people are floating trends about the Bengals that are like 20 years old. Bengals were a bad franchise for a long time. Joe Burrow's only been there for a little bit. I do think you look at the flow chart, even it's hard to want to lay, like you mentioned, more than a field goal with this Ravens team. And I think you nailed it with the Ronnie Stanley thing. Like that's a big deal. And guess what? That weird looked like maybe an ACL injury to Trey Hendrickson. He's not even listed on the injury report.
No, that was shocking because when we were talking to Justin earlier in the week, we go, "Oh man, Trey Hendrickson, that looks really bad. He might be out for a long time." And then it turns out he's a full go. So if I was gonna dabble with the Ravens, the Ronnie Stanley, Trey Hendrickson stuff pushed it over. But again, Burrow is an underdog. Like, what are we doing here? Joe Burr, give me the Bengals all day.
Yeah, I think I'm going to agree with you. I
really fading your Ravens, Ryan.
Oh no, I think in this spot, if both teams are healthy, probably look into the Ravens. But I think we're gonna something else you want to maybe look at is teams coming off the game against the Browns.
Browns are a physical team.
You watch those games, and there's just a lot of violent collisions. I go back and I watch the Bengals play the Texans, and no offense to either team, but different level of physicality going on there. But yeah, I got to take the points. And if I was gonna look at trends, I'd be more interested in the Joe Burrow dog trends and the recent like Bengals greater than 3-point dog trends versus the ones that talk about them playing night games in the late 90s.
Yeah, no.
I would just caution yourself. I've seen so many people who write trend articles have Bengals are 1-23 straight up on the road at night over the last 25 years or something similar to that. And it's like, what are we doing? You know what? Here's how you know you're reading a human article. No trends. You want to be a human? And write about football, avoid the trends because that's what AI does.
I think trends are dangerous because I think they are helpful in situation spots where if there's a narrative, if there's a story that makes the trends make sense, or if there's a story that you already have, like in my head, AFC North dogs are always the case, and then you look it up.
Name
and
your trend. Close your eyes. Special flow chart.
The shit
Give your
sense.
trend a name.
Yeah.
Make it a living being. Don't be AI bots and just regurgitate bullshit trends. All right. I'm starting to stand for humans against robots. I'm going to get ahead of it early.
Ryan's he's just been sneakily working in this war on AI and robots.
Dude, I'm in it. I know what we were doing 5 years ago at Hulu with AI. I know what we were doing.
I'll be sitting in the office.
Sean, it's based out of fucking China. It's all happening over there.
I'll be sitting in the office.
One day it's a bat stew. Next day it's a fucking robot.
I'll be sitting in the office. I'll get a phone call and I pick it up because I'm waiting for a call and I don't know the number, so I have to pick it up and see what it is. And it's that like either the fax machine or like some random beeping
Skynet.
And I immediately block the call and then I go to Ryan. I go, what's the end game with these like weird spam calls that just like, like what's the scam? What's the spam? I don't get it.
You know, I'm right.
And then Ryan goes, well, that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to get you not to use voice communications.
Captions on video.
Yes.
The youth of America is learning to watch video without sound. We're being programmed to no longer take voice calls because they're all junk.
All right.
Tell me I'm wrong. You know what? Slide into my DMs if you think I'm right. We can have a deeper conversation.
It's a lot of conclusions to jump to. But yeah, I don't have evidence to say you're wrong.
I would unplug my Alexa in that hotel room. Pittsburgh heads to Cleveland, where the Browns are laying -120. Steelers plus 100. 33 is the fucking total. What is this? The Hall of Fame game?
That is crazy.
Cleveland 4 and 12.
I'm not touching Deshaun Watson.
This is a trend we've been tracking all year, but the Browns are 4 and 12 ATS in their last 16 following a win. So that not a franchise that has sustained any sort of success. This look ahead was 5.5, worth noting because the starter has gone from a heroic Deshaun Watson to play through one of the worst injuries we've ever seen an NFL player play through. It's amazing.
I'm annoyed.
It's amazing he was able to. It's amazing. I mean, honestly, like push DeMar Hamlin to the side.
Wow, who was in that last drive?
Deshaun Watson, comeback player of the year. I don't care that he's out. The fact that 4.5 points from Watson to DTR.
Well, and I was pulling PJ Walker stats because I assumed that's who they were going to plug in.
Oh well, this is a future move.
We were optimistic on DTR. You always see those quarterbacks that look good running the football. You put them in. They have like a really good first game because people don't know how to play them. They're running all over the place. They're scrambling. They're improvising. None of that happened with DTR.
He's worse than Tommy DeVito.
It was really bad. I mean, now granted it was against the Ravens, but still 3 points. And look,
the Steelers this time. What do you mean? Granted, it's the Ravens.
He looked lost, I think was the big takeaway.
Do you know what happened in the last game here when Deshaun Watson was playing?
Yeah.
First score of the game, Alex Highsmith touchdown. Last score of the game, TJ Watt touchdown. That would have been a hell of a same game parlay.
Yes.
Hitting the wheel on the
we said, we should be putting both these in AFC
system
North.
Play?
Anytime defensive touchdown, one on each side, parlay it. Any AFC North.
Or do we parlay it or just play it isolated?
Well, I mean, play it both.
All 3 ways, right?
Yeah.
All right. So that's so just for the record, we're gonna have that for Cincy Baltimore as well.
Yes.
I like this.
I think both are.
Yeah. So I don't understand why DTR can't be favored against the Steelers.
No.
It doesn't matter. If I click this checkbox here that says ignore turnovers, the Steelers are horrible. No shit.
Yeah, I mean,
you know what? Make fun of their offensive coordinator, but they have not turned the ball over a ton, and they've turned the other team over.
But
they've gained a lot of points with turnovers.
So this is the annoying thing, right? And this is the fantasy community putting their nerdy noses into real ball talk. Okay, here's the difference between now. Everyone wants to say the Steelers. The yards per play, they are outgained by their opponents. They somehow keep winning. This is not sustainable. And they compare it to a team. Their point differential sucks. They compare it to a team like the Minnesota Vikings. The difference is we have a large sample size, at least football wise, of Mike Tomlin. This is how Mike Tomlin wins games. You know how Mike Tomlin has never had a losing season in the NFL? You know why that is? Because he figures out how to win games. It's around the edges. It's around not turning the ball over, creating turnovers, having a guy called TJ fucking Watt on your team. There's a reason they can get by with this type of football. They actually have a legit home field, and now this team is actually figuring out how to run the ball. Jaylen Warren, who everyone's like, oh, he's going to take over Najee Harris's role as a starter, and he kind of has, but
good complimentary backs.
But more
right
importantly, Najee Harris is actually playing probably some of his best ball, or at least best ball in a long time. And then on the other side, Cleveland Browns are without their starting 2 tackles for DTR.
Is that bad? And is how's Cam Hayward's health?
He's good.
He's important for the run game.
Yeah.
He did not practice on Wednesday. It's listed as a groin this time, but based on things I'm reading, it sounds like he is planning on playing. So, and honestly, we didn't even talk about the injuries on the Browns side of the ball. The amount of DMPs that are not like just rest related for the Browns.
Yeah.
Outside of those tackles, pretty wild. You can't really stress how bad DTR is. Should not be a favorite in any situation. I understand Kenny Pickett versus this defense isn't a great matchup, but this is a defense versus defense game.
Yeah, and the Steelers win ugly, and this is an ugly ass. Well,
yeah,
game.
What did I start with? That they've taken care of the football.
Yeah,
if you take care of the football against the Browns, you'll probably win more than you lose. You can't let them score a touchdown. That's the Ravens' mistake.
Ryan, you want to talk about flowchart? The Steelers have won 39 of their last 47 meetings. Now, some of that's dating back to Big Ben.
Some of it
owning the Cleveland Browns, but some of that's recent stuff as well too.
Big Ben did well.
There's
in
an
Ohio,
institutional
on and off the field. Fun fact that I dug up: I believe the interception return in the Steelers Browns first matchup was the first play of the game. Deshaun Watson had 2 pick sixes on the first play of the game this season in limited time, and now he's out for the season. That's a wild stat. You're a fully guaranteed quarterback, biggest contract in the history of football, and you've started 2 of your few games this year with touchdowns for the other team.
Yeah,
that's wild.
Bonkers.
All right.
And shout out to Old Fashioned Football on SGPN. Great podcast. Shout out to J Mark in the chat and Miranda. Great, awesome couple. Great podcast there. Whiskey and football. What more could you want? And they're pointing out we got some Keeper's Heart here. Just making sure I nailed that name. Yes, Keeper's Heart. It is delicious whiskey. They're not paying us. Just really enjoyed the whiskey. And yeah, highly recommend it. Keeper's Heart, super tasty, right? Super tasty.
Yeah, I mean, it was
going down smooth.
All J Mark, Old Fashioned Football. Check it out. Game 2.
We're both on the Steelers, to be clear.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if we officially announced the pick.
I said to you earlier, I'm like, God damn it! There's no way we can't take the Steelers this week. All right. By the way, 8 games early, Sean.
Perfect.
Perfect for God's eye.
We got the Octobox.
Teardrop will be active. All right, Arizona heads to Houston, where the Texans are laying 5 points. Wow. Minus 230 on the money line. Arizona plus 190. 48.5 is the total. This ticked up from the look ahead of 3.5. You know, clearly because CJ Stroud balling, but boy, a different team with Kyler. I know they played a bad team last week, but this is a different team with Kyler. And what was Kyler so good at?
Scampering.
Remember the stats with I'm blanking on the coach's name, Kingsbury.
Yes.
And Kyler as dogs versus favorites. Love him as a dog.
Yep.
Hate him as a favorite. There was that kind of drone above angle of Kyler scrambling around, and I couldn't help, like when I watched the Bijan Robinson one, it was like, that's some sick ass Neo Matrix shit. When I watched Kyler do it, I was like, oh, cool. We're watching a gymnastics meet. Watching him with his arms up from above is hilarious. But boy, hard to not want to look to them in this spot, Sean.
This is tough because I was going. Let's talk this one out because I was going back and forth a bunch on this.
Well,
I mean,
injury report is where it starts. But last week, that ridiculous 23 people they listed didn't really seem to slow them down against the Bengals, who, you know, maybe they were looking ahead.
Talking
maybe
Texans, yeah.
Yeah, sorry, Texans. But this week we're right back to it. They got like 19 guys listed.
Yeah, I mean they're super banged up. Noah Brown being one of them. Nico Collins, I think, also banged up.
Tunsil,
Laramie Tunsil. Yeah, I mean, but the Texans defense, I think everyone's talking about CJ Stroud, and rightfully so. But the Texans did a really good job, I thought, pressuring Joe Burrow and bringing the heat. Now that could come back to bite you in the ass because Kyler Murray is actually pretty good ATS against teams who rush the quarterback. If your sack percentage is 6% or higher, he has been 5-1-1 ATS in his career, which kind of makes sense because if you bring a lot of pressure normally, he scrambles out, he finds guys downfield. It is a tough guard. Now maybe the Texans are looking ahead. They got a big division matchup against the Jags, who are kind of the team to knock out in the AFC South. You have this Cardinals team in a possible letdown spot after taking down the Cincinnati Bengals. The problem is, one, I think the public is kind of back in the Cardinals, which is scary for me. Normally, I'm not a guy who cares a bunch about that, but the fact that the Cardinals are getting some public money now, maybe this has changed lately, Ryan.
Which, by the way, shout out to our favorite analyst that loves telling everyone how betting splits are stupid.
Yeah, no, I mean, I do think if the public's on the Cardinals, I think that's a little bit scary. But
according to VSiN, 66% of the dollars and bets are on the Texans.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. So I don't know. Everyone seems to have different sources of data, but
what's DK? Which pretty public
DK,
book.
yes.
Pretty
So
public book. So probably accurate.
Yeah. Of where the public is going here.
Most sharps hate DK because they limit me. Yeah, I'm so good.
CJ Stroud has 15 passing touchdowns and over 2,500 yards. He is the third quarterback to do that in his first start. So compare that to guys like Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert. I think it's easy to talk yourself into this Cardinals team for a lot of reasons, but man, CJ Stroud is really good and has an incredible level of confidence. And there was you felt it early in that Bengals game. It was like, shit, this team is just, you can just feel it watching them. As an eye test guy, I was like, oh man, we're fucked. They're going to win this game. Now, certainly I did get sucked back in when he threw the interception or whatever, but this Texans team kind of has a team of destiny type vibe. It reminds me, now his game is certainly different, but of the Indianapolis Colts Andrew Luck rookie season, where we're going to look back and be like, wow, 11-5, or in this case, 11-6. Like, damn, that was a hell of a, he really turned things around. And
yeah,
you want to talk
of destiny.
You want to talk about dark horse MVP candidates. I don't think he has the pedigree to go to knock out, cause you got Mahomes, you got Jalen Hurts, you got Lamar. There are a bunch of good quarterbacks up top, but I mean, you just look at them last year and this year. CJ Stroud, massive difference for this Texans team. And what has Will Anderson done, Ryan? I feel like we have not talked about him at all. I mean, considering he was the number 3 pick overall, I feel like we haven't mentioned him much at all in our previews or even talked about him much in the show.
Let's pull up the numbers, Sean. Well, he had a sack in his first game, and he had a sack 2 games ago. He's got 2 sacks on the season. He's got a ton of hits though. I mean,
I feel like he's been having a solid season, but I'm just saying, like, it's crazy.
He's got 11 quarterback hits. He's got one or two in almost every game. I would imagine maybe he's doing like having one of these seasons where he's impacting the game in more ways than just the pass rush. Their defense has been all right. The thing that's kind of steadily improved is like their defensive adjusted line yards has gotten to the elite level, which means they should be able to jam up the rushing attack. I just don't really want to fade Kyler in this situation. I think Josh had it on the graphic, but Kyler hasn't been on Twitch in like over a year.
He's locked
in. He's
a
changed man. I do think there had to be some reflection to Kyler. He's this all world talent, number 1 overall pick, big contract, and people are talking about him like they need to ship him out of town for a bag of potatoes.
Well, I will say, as much as we give him shit, by all accounts, he did do the work and was really ahead of schedule. And I mean, he looked super healthy. Like we've seen guys rush back from the ACL and it's like, they're lacking the explosiveness. But I saw that in Kyler.
He didn't rush back. And I think CJ Stroud has yet to cover as a favorite. So give me the Cardinals.
Things change this Sunday.
I like
the
that,
Houston Texans laying the points.
I like that you're a Texans fan now. That's fun.
No, this is a tough one. I like the Texans. I unfortunately underestimated them against the Bengals, paid for it. I'm not going to do it again. Give me the Texans.
Chuck P chiming in. Will Anderson, edge number 3 in pass win rate, and edge number 1 in run stop win rate. So Guess he's having a decent year. I wonder what the I'll pull up the rookie of the year odds after we get through this next game. All right. The Los Angeles Chargers, Sean, are heading to.
So I just got to read Cody is from TAV. His comments. Whoa, Kramer's off Baltimore and Houston this week, and Atlanta has a bye. What is going on?
I told you I'm clear as fuck right now.
That's why he's wearing his Winnipeg Bombers shirt. His new team.
I'm very clear.
I'll talk to Derek Ryan. Please, let's make a note on the VSiN show. We got to talk to Derek about getting a CFL slot machine.
CFL slot machine
to go again.
Let's update the people. Maybe they don't watch the pregame show or the recap show.
The slot. How's the slot?
Tales from the slot. It was another epic run on the NFL slot machine where I of course select the Eagles. Started out putting in a couple. I think I put in like $400, up and down. But I felt the heater coming. Put in a couple more.
Up and down was the slot machine.
Yes.
Okay.
I was locked in. I was not going.
I don't know if it was something else was going up and down.
I do get excied when I hit these sweet bonuses.
Your hand was
the
going
NFL
up and down.
music going.
Sir, this is a public.
You have to know when to come.
And I just started hammering drinks, and then I hit one of this bonus. It's where you kick these like field goals, and I got back-to-back field goal kicking bonuses. I was nailing like 55 yarders. There was a dude behind me that goes, Eagles, this is awesome. Like a guy just randomly started watching me dominate the slot machine. I think I got it up to like 1,500. And I was, there was a point there where I almost pissed my pants because I really had to pee, like where it was like painful, but I kept getting these free spins. So I wasn't going to leave the slot machine. Eventually I did pee, cashed out, then cashed back in. Probably didn't need to do that, but I ended up walking with another $600. So shout out to the slot machine. I'll see you Friday night, early Saturday morning.
Honestly, if you get some action on just take a picture of an NFL slot machine and tag us.
Yes.
I would say 3 things you can tag us with: pictures of ladders, pictures of down markers, and pictures of the NFL slot machine. All of those.
It is really fun. They're not paying me to say that. I wish they were. I mean, they're paying me to play it, so I'll keep doing that.
It's not that fun. I've tested it out.
Ryan always sits in the seat next to me and does not have the same experience that I have.
So per our data, Ravens don't work, Giants don't work, Eagles work, Steelers work. According to
Cameron Kerr of the Golf Gambling Podcast, tried the same machine and had a nice heater with the Steelers.
I might just need to use that machine. See, Sean doesn't want me to use it because he thinks I might create some sort of negative force around it. All right, let's head over to Lambeau where the Chargers come to town. Chargers on the road, spot we love to take them where we used to, Sean. -3 here, -170 on the money line. Packers +140, 44.5 is the total. Green Bay with the look ahead to Turkey Day, and you see that knife because this is a little crisscross action. The Chargers are getting 81% of the bets, but Green Bay is getting the money. So what does that tell us? That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, to me, the big factor here is Keenan Allen's health. I was speaking earlier with a Chargers insider, Justin Decker. It sounds like Keenan Allen is going to play. I think this Chargers pass rush can get to Jordan Love. Gerald Everett looks like he's going to be back or out. I'm sorry. It's still in the concussion protocols, Ryan. So maybe we will end up playing a little Donald Parham in our fantasy league.
He's had a lot of concussions in his career.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Keenan Allen did come back into the game, did finish, had an amazing game. Packers struggle against the slot. So if
the slot, how's the slot?
If Keenan Allen can go, I kind of like the Chargers in the spot, and I can't do it with the Packers, man. I just can't. I can't put money on this Packers team. And you know, the Packers weren't even good at stopping the run last week. They showed something, I guess, in being able to move the ball and almost had a chance there at the end against the Steelers. But man, Jordan Love is just a huge loser. I don't know what else to say. I've been skeptical of this Chargers team. I think rightfully so. But I think this might be a spot to get on them. Road favorite, small road favorite. This is the Chargers' time. Although Herbert, this is a crazy nugget as far as betting the Chargers in the second half. He is 8-25-2 on second half bets ATS when leading at halftime. So if there's anyone can fuck this up, it is the Chargers.
Is that a Herbert bet or a Staley bet?
I mean, it's a Chargers thing, right? Like Brandon Staley is terrifying to back as a road favorite, but I think I'm going to do it. Give me the Chargers. I also think Green Bay looking ahead to Thanksgiving. I'm going to look to fade. I think a lot of these.
Are we
teams.
worried about Aaron Jones being limited in practice?
Yeah, I mean, because
I know he's supposed to be full go, but why is he back to being limited?
Yeah,
it wasn't like a vet rest day.
Yeah, and in general, I think that's how you beat the Chargers is you're able to run the ball. But I would say we saw who was it against where Bosa and was it the blanket? Oh, it was the Bears, right? Where they just destroyed Joey Bosa and Khalil Mack, just ate the lunch of Tyson Bagent there. I could see a similar thing happening with Jordan Love here. And for whatever reason, Justin Herbert, very good in the Eastern and Central time zone. So if you like trends, you got to ride the time zone trend.
Well, and a couple other things to point out. I mean, also worth noting, Parham also missed practice. So we could be an interesting tight end out in the touchdown markets there. But yeah, to me, this is all about Keenan Allen. But I like our trend. I've been sticking to it lately. It's been working.
Yeah. I mean, I'm picking this at 3, but I won't actually be betting money on it come Saturday, Friday.
Which
Sunday.
way does the line move?
I don't know if it moves that much. Like if Keenan Allen is ruled out, do you think this becomes Chargers 2.5?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think Keenan Allen matters.
I mean, it does in my head, right?
Well, I mean, who's getting open? Everett's out. Parham's banged up. Quentin Johnston can't seem to get open. I guess Guyton maybe is a fun ladder play.
I mean, Keenan Allen 11 for 175 and 2 touchdowns.
If he plays, you're confident he's playing.
The stuff I'm reading says he's playing.
Okay. If he plays, then you play the Chargers. I think that it's an easy.
I would definitely
system.
tie a lot to that. So, we don't give leans, but I'm going Chargers here. But certainly keep an eye on Keenan Allen.
I wouldn't be surprised if this ends up at 3.5. I think the early money on the Packers is silly. Probably just people grabbing that 3.5 when it opened that way. All right, Giants, Commanders, Washington, of course. Looking, we're both on the Chargers for the saying it so the bots can hear. Giants on their 3rd straight road game. I mean, as if things couldn't get more hilarious. And coming, this is the Vegas hangover game. Giants ahead to the nation's capital, where the Commanders, looking ahead to a big game against the Cowgirls, are laying a just unbelievable 9 points. The look ahead was 7.5. When as high as 10. I guess people got interested in Tommy DeVito at 10. minus 140 or minus 440 on the money line for Washington. Giants plus 340. 37.5 is the total. I'm not a totals guy, but I'm pretty sure the Giants have an insane under record this year. I mean, the handicap for this game is pretty simple. Giants don't lose to the Commanders.
Ron Rivera.
I saw Josh throwing some shade on the old card there. I just disregarded it.
Ron Rivera 1-8 ATS versus the Giants as a favorite. Counter, the Giants are horrific.
Yep.
They're the 13th worst team according to DVOA through 10 games since 1981.
Nice. I'd like to see where the adjusted games lost to injury shows up on that all-time list too. I'll have to slide into shots DMs.
Well, and are they injured? Because I'm Ryan. I'm not trying to rile you up. I know.
What do you mean?
I know these Giants segments create some anger on the show.
That was a look back comment.
So Kayvon Thibodeau,
concussion,
Jalen Hyatt, and Adoree Jackson are all in the concussion protocol.
They can't fake concussions. They happen in the game.
Giants inside.
What are you talking about?
I'm saying Steffi Smalls tweeted out all in the concussion protocol. Wink, wink. She's implying that they are holding them out as part of a tanking operation.
This is pretty easy to explain. Kayvon Thibodeau is a higher thinker, so his baseline is going to be a more difficult get back.
I do think dumber. I do think dumber guys come back from concussions easier
because you make a baseline. If you're dumb, you don't seem as messed up when you get knocked in your head. Kayvon has that problem going the other way. Yeah, who knows what's going on with Adoree is the one guy where I'm willing. But yeah, they both exited games with concussions. And how many players have come back in 1 week? How many players not named Brock Purdy have come back in a week? So yeah, I mean, if you want to get conspiracy theory, that's probably not the area to get it.
Hey, and I appreciate your counter to Steph's.
But also like that's the one area where there's like an independent doctor involved, and so it would even be stranger to like, what are you telling the independent doctor? Don't clear him. We need these guys to sit for another week. No one's come back in a week.
Let's be careful.
Bad take, Steph. Sorry.
All right. Sam Howell struggled against the Giants. Of course, the only team Table has beaten in the division has been the Commanders. I think the Giants might get some pressure on Sam Howell. I don't understand why they do better against the Redskins than most teams.
Because Wink figured out that if you just blitz, like just get in Sam Howell's face and he'll make mistakes.
Yeah.
It's a variance play. They are a little lighter on defense than they were the first time they played without Thibodeau. The Giants don't lose to the Commanders. I don't know how it's going to happen. This game's going to be a fucking shit show.
Yeah.
You remember the last time the Commanders putting up 30 points against the Eagles, and then out of nowhere the Giants hold them to 7, and that 7 was a lucky 7. It was a fumble punt inside the red zone 7. They got shut out that game if not for that special teams turnover. So it's going to be a fucked up game, but they clearly have some sort of solution for this offense. And if you remember, Sean, they probably should have scored more points. Granted, it was Tyrod, but they had plays to beat that defense. So I don't know. This is one where the money line's in play. The Giants are going to go fuck about and screw up the Caleb Williams. I'm not done with my evaluation. For those who are wondering, if Caleb Williams and Drake May are passing through the K metric, deeper analysis. After the Josh Allen mistake, or maybe it's not a mistake. It is funny how the K metric might come back to roost on that one. But yeah, you're taking the Giants too, I assume.
Yes. It's a disgusting act, but you have to take the Giants.
Play.
It's not.
You can't lay 9 points with Sam Howell.
Yeah, I mean that's ridiculous.
But by the way, Washington also sold players at the trade deadline.
Yeah,
like, it's not like they're fucking.
Ryan, breaking news. Time for our Prize Picks segment. Of course, go to prizepicks.com/SGPN. Sign up today. Get that sweet 100% deposit bonus up to $100. Of course, Prize Picks daily fantasy sports made easy. Let's put together a little Prize Picks entry here, Ryan, from the Giants Commanders game. Fun game to feature for some more or less picks. We got Tommy DeVito, we got Saquon Barkley, we got. What are we looking at?
They got how many cinder block projections and tied to Tommy DeVito.
Tommy DeVito.
They got a rush. They got a rush projection on Tommy.
So they have a Russian passing yards combined at 182.5. Just passing yards 158.5. Barkley is set at 69.5 rushing yards. How we got 251.5 passing.
That. McLaurin should have a big game.
Okay.
I would say that would be something I would target.
McLaurin 57.5 receiving yards.
Definitely more.
Okay. So putting more Terry McLaurin receiving yards.
I think Banks has lost some confidence. He's getting destroyed by good receivers at the release point. I think McLaurin could really dominate him. So that's one.
Okay.
Let's see other angles. I might look to, do they have any Giants receiver?
Throw me out a receiver, Ryan.
Hyatt.
Well, he's in.
Yeah, you're right. Slayton. Actually, give me Slayton. What's Slayton's number?
Slayton. I do not see.
Yeah, they're you can't even project it. It's so low. Can
we get Daniel Bellinger? No, he's not in.
No, they probably don't have any of them. Do they have Barkley receiving?
No, just rushing yards right now. A lot of these pop up closer to kick.
I would go higher. They were able to run the ball last game.
So
without
more
Sweat and Chase Young.
Saquon Barkley 69.5 rushing yards. Do we want to throw a third entry pick here?
Do they have any defensive player? Do they have Dexter? Anything on Dexter Lawrence? He dominates this matchup. Dexter Lawrence is going against Nick Gates, former teammate who plays center for the Commanders. Last game he he dominated him in a disrespectful way.
I put Lawrence in, and there's some hilarious photos of Trevor Lawrence.
Maybe some. That's it. No, you got nothing else for me?
No.
Right.
Well, I mean, what other player? We could go off the board here. I just think it's fun to focus on this NFC.
Yeah,
matchup.
we can. Do they have any other Giants defensive players?
I think you have to name the Giants defensive players.
This is.
Well, how would I search for the Giants defensive player?
I don't know.
All right,
It's a lot. There's a lot going on here.
okay.
I'm pulling it up. I'll do the legwork.
I don't see a lot. Mostly the defensive props that are up now are just for Thursday Night Football.
I see. That's unacceptable. All right, then. I guess we got to put more on Tommy DeVito combo yards.
Combo yards. Okay.
This Washington defense has allowed bad quarterbacks to have good games.
All right, so we got more Terry McLaurin 57.5 receiving yards,
Check.
more Saquon Barkley 69.5 receiving yards, and more
rushing yards.
Yes, sorry, and then more Tommy DeVito combined passing and rushing yards. $100 wins you $500 over on PrizePicks.com. Promo code SGPN.
Not a game we should have gone more on. All right, 10 a.m. on the.
What is the total?
It's 37.5. It's not the lowest.
It's not Iowa level.
It's not, or AKA Pittsburgh, Cleveland level. All right. Tennessee heads to Jacksonville, where the Jags are laying 6.5, -270 on the money line. Tennessee +220. Back-to-back road spot for the Titans. Not surprising, I think, to see the bets coming in on the Jags early. That's why I think we've seen this go up from 6 to 6.5. I do know that there are some places out there that have some 7s with some juice. Sean, 39.5 is the total. I think I mentioned it, but Titans +220 on the money line. All right. So couple things that I harvested in looking into this game. Somehow the Jags. So on Sunday, when this game's kicking off, will be only the second game they played in a month. And I guess you could argue that the bye came at a bad time for them. They were hot and it cooled them off real quick. And then they stepped out of the bye week into tough competition and got their ass beat. Now they step way down in competition. I think the Titans in general are going to make their defense look better. I think Will Levis, now the advanced numbers are starting to look really bad for him because he hasn't converted on those big plays in a while. And I think this might just be a step down in class that they need to go back to looking like a really good team. The Jags are very healthy, although Zay Jones might not be contributing to the team. I don't.
Oh yeah, he's in. Is he not in jail?
This is this like a continuation on the bloody hotel incident back in Buffalo.
Yeah, I mean,
shout out ECU.
Jaguars. I'll just read the headline. You guys can do the research. Jaguars receiver Zay Jones arrested on domestic battery charge involving mother of his child. He's wearing an orange jumpsuit, so I doubt he's gonna make it for this game. And I think that's kind of key. Like this Jags offense really seems to be different with and without Zay Jones.
I think there might be something there. But they seemed all right. Without him,
someone threw out a take on a show, and I was wrapping it around my head for a while. Do you think Jared Goff is better than Trevor Lawrence, at least this year? Who's having a better year?
It's not even close.
Jared Goff, right?
Like, yeah, not even close.
Yeah, no, it's just crazy. If you said Jared Goff is a better quarterback than Trevor Lawrence preseason, I think people would have spit in your face.
Oh no. I think even career. I think every way you look at it, Jared Goff is better than Trevor.
It's crazy. I mean, the Jared Goff.
Trevor Lawrence had a great.
I feel like a guy who invested in one of those rug pull crypto coins because the Jared Goff story. I did not see this coming. He's playing well.
You are the mayor of Sucks Island.
Yeah,
you created that chip on.
Dirt is cheap. We're the only place you can find affordable housing in this country. This is Jared Goff Sucks Island. But Ryan, you're laying out some great points.
I know what you're gonna do here, but I figured I'd start.
But right, we are a flowchart show, and I feel like the flowchart is strongest in the AFC South and the AFC North. What have the Titans done against the Jacksonville Jaguars, Ryan? They've won 11 of the past 15 meetings. Okay. Come on, Mike Vrabel is a dog. Do I have to bring that in?
Yes. Bring it in.
He's really good. I can't find a trustworthy spot to get these trends, but Vrabel as a dog, you're just gonna have to trust me. He's very good.
Trust Sean. Good.
I mean, the counter is pretty easy. Jags are the better team, coming off a really bad, embarrassing loss. They're going to be able to throw on the Titans. Titans back-to-back road spot. Maybe Will Levis has lost it. I can't do. I'm always going to go division dog, especially at 6 points. This is just too high. I mean, if it's 3.5, 4 points, I'm on the Jags. 6, I got to take Vrabel. And Vrabel is a guy. I know what you're. Is there really a big difference between 4 and 6? There is when Mike Vrabel is deciding to go for field goals.
Yeah, he's getting field goals.
He will. This is going to be a 18-21 game.
Here's my problem with this version of Vrabel's team. They just got their ass beat by a bad Bucs team.
Exactly. The guy who said he was willing to cut his dick off for a Super Bowl. Who's gonna have?
Not this year. He ain't doing
Who's
that.
gonna? Oh, he's gonna cut off everything, right? He's gonna cut off his dick and whatever else
his
he can.
dick's safe.
He's gonna cut off Derrick Henry's dick. If there's any guy that's going to motivate his team in a bounce back spot, is it him or is it Doug? I like ice cream. Peterson wearing his visor and living a casual lifestyle and moving down to South Florida to retire and still get millions of dollars. This is a nice spot for the Titans. I was probably getting too cute with them in the non-conference spot against the Bucs, but they're staying down in Florida.
I'm laying it.
Oh, of course you are.
I'm laying it.
You're a Titans hater. I get it. Hashtag Titan up.
I generally, I just think this is
no, it's a Will Levis thing.
Will Levis is
it's a Will Levis thing. Will Levis is a big wild card. I mean, he looked bad against the Bucs to a degree, but he also looked good against the Steelers and in relief. So I think the book is still wide open for the Titans.
Yeah, the sample size is just getting wider, and
3 games. Come on.
No, and when the fewer of these big plays he's converting, he's starting to look pretty silly. And I think
Mr. Heat in the chat saying Sean gets it. That Bucs team up front is tough.
I think the Jags aren't so. I think the Jags up front are going to give them similar issues, and I think that they're like they could run into a situation where they're. Are the Jags going to put up 24, 27 points? Yeah, probably. Are the Titans going to be able to keep pace? Absolutely not. Love laying the points here. 6.5 is the number.
So 6.5.
Give yourself the extra hook.
Love it.
All right. Bears heading to Detroit to take on the Lions. Of course, the Lions will be looking ahead to Thanksgiving. Big game for them. They generally find a way to screw that up. Bears coming off Thursday night, so you got the mini bye. Lions laying 8 -410 on the money line. Bears plus 320. 48 is the total. 77% of the bets in on the Lions. I think we're both going to have a similar opinion here. This is a maybe too cute auto play on the Bears for me, and here's why. I do think, for everything you want to say about their defense being bad, it has improved week over week of late. And I do think that Fields now comes into a situation where there's more than just him returning from injury.
You have to know when to come.
This could be the last stint in his career where he's the clear starting quarterback for the Chicago Bears. So I would fully expect to see street ball. He's going to be going back to some of his old tricks. I also think Detroit has struggled against the mobile quarterback to a small extent. Lamar and the Ravens had their way. It's a big number. It's a really, really big number. And what does Derek always tell us about Detroit at 1 p.m. or I guess noon?
Yeah, not quite the same environment.
A little bit sleepier.
Yeah.
So I love taking the big number here. I'm not a Bears fan, but I'm finding myself on the Bears now 2 weeks in a row, Sean.
Yes. I think this is it's a test for this Bears defense, but the Bears defense has played really pretty well, I thought. As you were mentioning, since they got healthy, this is kind of a tough spot for the Lions defense in some ways. I mean, the Lions defense, that was a weird game. Like they just got absolutely shredded by the Los Angeles Chargers there, and maybe we'll dive in deeper in the prop show, but this could be another
slot. How's the slot?
This could be another Darnell Mooney game because I think he could match up. I mean, the Lions had no answer for Keenan Allen. Now, is Darnell Mooney as good as Keenan Allen? No, but could Darnell Mooney get 60 receiving yards? climb up the ladder up to 75? Certainly. Let's go back though and look. Ryan, you were kind of alluding to Justin Fields being desperate. What do desperate quarterbacks do? They run the football. Justin Fields, 3 games against the Lions. Do you know how many rushing yards he has?
How many?
288. And Justin Fields, he has 6 career wins. You know who one of them came against? The Detroit Lions. Lions looking ahead to Thanksgiving. Lions historically have always struggled the game before Thanksgiving. 7-11 ATS before that Thanksgiving game. And one more time for the flow chart, the Bears have won 7 of the last 10 meetings. Now the Lions have won the last 2, but they should be due here. Goff again is good at home. Good at home. ATS is a favorite. But this, you got to go Bears here. You got to.
We had a similar. I feel like there's a similar situation earlier in the season when they were playing the Seahawks, and it was Barry Sanders Day, and they shit the bed.
Cody saying he wants to see Bajan's dad arm wrestle Dan Campbell. He would destroy Dan Campbell. Dan Campbell's a strong guy, but arm wrestling is all about leverage and knowing your angles.
Yeah, if you're a pro arm wrestler, you're not going to lose to a civilian. I mean, that's that's like trying to say that Alabama's going to beat an NFL team. That's not how it works.
It's a good angle though. I would also want to watch that.
What do you think this game has in terms of potential to look like maybe the Jags game last week, where it's like, oh nope, that was too cute.
Yeah, that was a non-conference thing. I think 49ers came in with a huge chip on their shoulder, super fired up. Yeah, I mean, could the Jags?
I love this backdoor. Like, to me, this is going to be one where like Lions fans are like, "Oh, we got robbed. Justin Fields ran that 40-yard touchdown in with 2 minutes left." Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think there's a small percentage certainly that is a live dog, but the backdoor is wide open.
Not to get too deep into it, but like if the NFL teams really don't tank. Like if you're out on the field playing, you're trying your hardest. Like that's just. It's the simple fact. The way that I don't know how this Bears team at this point in the season, with the way they've been playing with Tyson fucking Bagent, is catching this many points here. Raiders, they're heading to Miami. Oh boy, 2 weeks of celebrating, 2 wins against Tommy Meatballs DeVito and Zach Wilson, and now they're off to South Beach. This feels like a mob movie.
Raiders are back,
like a mob movie prequel. Like
you just take a little trip to down south, pick up a package.
Cocaine Cowboys 3. Antonio Pierce comes home.
Antonio, go grab the pack.
Miami's laying 13.5, -750 on the money line. 525 for the Raiders. 46.5 is the total. More trolling from producer Josh pointing out that Antonio Pierce has the same number of wins as Brian Dable.
Wow. What's crazier, that or that Josh Allen has the same number of wins as the Las Vegas Raiders?
The Raiders being in the playoff hunt is hilarious.
The Raiders getting in the playoffs and the Bills not would just be, this is why the NFL is awesome.
Parody, baby. And
they fired their coach and like, no one fires their coach and then makes the playoffs. I feel like. Can you remember a scenario where that happened?
Well, Rich Bisaccia almost did it, right? Didn't they just miss out the playoffs in the last season? And then he wrote all those. And Steve Wilkes
was close, but they haven't done it.
This is who the Patrick Graham Raiders defense has faced.
Yeah,
over the last 6 weeks. Zach Wilson, Tommy DeVito, Jared Goff was in there, but how'd that game go? Tyson Bagent, Mac Jones, and Jordan Love.
So Tyson Bagent, high level quarterback. Jared Goff, high level quarterback. This to me, this is who the Dolphins. This is Tua time, right? Tua 9-0 straight up and 7-2 ATS is a favorite of over 4 points in his career. He's dominated as a big favorite at home. This is their time, and now he's going to be at home. And how do you stop the Dolphins, Ryan? You have an elite high level defense that can completely wipe out their running game, right? So we saw it. Who have they lost to in big spots? It was the Bills when they had Matt Milano still. It was the Eagles, had a very good rush defense, and it was the Chiefs, had a very good rush defense. Because you stop the running game, it clogs up what they try and do, and it gets Tua to press and gets him to cause some problems.
Tough matchup this week.
Raiders 27th in rush defensive DVOA. Mostert is back. It looks like Achane also back. Both are questionable right now, but I think at the very least, Mostert is going to go. Do you think Achane goes, Ryan?
Both got a limited practice. It sounds like they're both going to go. Well, I shouldn't say that. If you go off of trending, like injury trending, I think there's a chance Achane doesn't play.
To me, it sounds like Mostert has a better chance of playing than Achane, but I think at least one of them, if not two, are going to be in this game, and Mostert being on the field is huge for them. But this is at home. And Mike McDaniel has 2 weeks to prepare for Antonio Pierce. If he can't get it done, then they got to take away his vape pen.
You haven't even yeah, it's funny. I watched a thing on him. Found out he was he's sober. He's like he's sober for 2000. Like he almost got he lost a job in the NFL because he got fucked up too much.
Yeah,
and then he almost got lost another job in the NFL because he was getting fucked up too much. Sounds like he just liked to party. So who knows? Maybe he found another vice. You didn't even mention the defense. I mean, Jalen Ramsey back. They're coming off the bye. They should look a lot stronger. Still very talented defense. Dolphins 3-0 ATS is a double-digit favorite under McDaniel. And fun fact, Sean, Dolphins have played 4 home games. They've won all of those games by at least 2 touchdowns. 70-20, 31-16, 42-21, and 31-17. To your point, and to the stat that we love using, Tua, year plus since he's defeated a team with a winning record.
No, that's a producer Josh nugget. I love it.
And what do we forget? What does he have here? The little bit of a dilemma. What's the record of the Las
They're
Vegas?
500. They're not
above 500.
No. So he's fine.
We're in a good spot. You got to lay the points here. This has 70-20 written all over it. I think that making a note here, more defensive touchdown action.
Serial also on the same page here, Ryan. New coach bounce gone this game. It does feel like that's where it runs out.
Yeah, they're going on a road trip now.
Yeah,
I mean they were just at home for 2 games.
Can't bring the cigars. None of the mojo.
You can get your own cigars down there. You can do a lot of things.
You think they have cigars in Florida?
Maybe they'll do a team outing night before the game. Get on a boat, go into international waters. Everything's legal out there. Cowboys, they're heading to Carolina, where, and I think I mentioned it, but Miami is a public team, but we're just gonna ignore that and look the other way. Dallas heads to Carolina, where the Panthers, another mini bye. They're coming into this one. Dallas, of course, looking ahead to the big Turkey Day battle where we get to watch. Zeke not jumping in the Salvation Army bucket. I don't know, tradition like none other. Although I never watch because I'm off the grid for Thanksgiving. Thank you.
Yeah, Ryan hates football.
I love football, and I also love being off the grid. Carolina mini bye, like I said, they use the mini bye wisely as Frank Reich is going to bravely call plays once again for this horrible team. Cowboys catching 83% of the bets, minus 10.5, minus 520 on the money line. Panthers plus 390, 42.5 is the total. He must have received the message when David Tepper fired his MLS manager to say, well, if I'm going to get fired because of this bullshit, I might as well call the plays.
Yeah. Go down swinging. This
injured. Very injured.
So obviously we're gonna take the Panthers, and here's the case.
Are we?
Outside of I am.
I'm clear now. I don't have.
Okay, Ryan doesn't have any fan bias.
Unbiased.
Carolina, they're actually decent against the pass. They're bad against the run, but Tony Pollard really hasn't been able to do much. I know the Cowboys are good, top 10 against slot receivers, but I still think this ends up being an okay matchup for Adam Thielen. You would imagine the Panthers just get something going at this point. Frank Reich has a ton of experience playing the Cowboys from his time there in the NFC East, but really why you could talk yourself into the Carolina Panthers here is this is a very weird situation spot for the Dallas Cowboys, right? So they have a blowout win at home against a division opponent. Then they travel to the East Coast against a very sleepy spot against the Carolina Panthers before a division game at home a Thursday night for Thanksgiving. If there ever was a sandwich game, did you have the sandwich game graphic, Ryan? Because this to me
didn't identify this as sandwich.
This is a sandwich game, right?
I can see the angle. I think,
and the Panthers defense is getting healthy.
I think the angle now. What's concerning is the Cowboys are all the way healthy. No one's listed on the injury or on the practice injury report. The Panthers are getting healthy in an important way. A guy that coming into the season, big hope, big excitement. Joe Horn's kid, J.C. Horn, lockdown cornerback. He's back. That's a big deal. C.J. Henderson also looks like he's trending towards being back. So this is a team that, and I think they also have maybe some other folks that are coming back and limited that have been out for a couple of weeks in a row. That all being said, I do worry that they're going to have a hard time separating against this Dallas defense. Like that's the part that scares me.
They can't separate against anything.
So, but it's 10.5 points though. To your point, sleepy spot. The Dallas will check out of this game as early as possible. Carolina has to show a little resistance, and kitchen sink game for Frank Reich. I do think his seat has become very, very hot.
Yes.
And let's see how it goes. Hopefully the mini bye is enough time. Carolina plus 10.5. Got it.
Yeah. I'm on Carolina plus 10.5.
Very nervous about the defense versus Carolina offense.
Oh, come on. They got this.
Andy Dalton gets some, maybe Frank Reich, if he's really worried about his job, sit down the munchkin. And put a man out there. Tampa Bay. All right, so that's the early slate. Let's head
Red Rocket
afternoon slate. Tampa heads to San Francisco, where from one bay to another. Sean, the Bucks are catching 11.5 plus 425 on the money line, minus 575 for the Niners. 41.5 is the total. That does seem like a high total. 70% of the bets on the Niners. Another team looking ahead to that primetime spot.
Yeah, why is that total so high? I mean, again, hashtag not a totals guy, but.
I think that's a typo. Actually, it's 41.5.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but even at that point, I'm not a totals guy, but Bucks are going to struggle to score in this one. Baker, good as a dog, bad everywhere else. I did get an update on Baker. I have a quote from Todd Bowles. Yeah, Baker is good.
He's
healthy.
I think this is Baker's best year. Now, you can make a case that him winning that playoff game for the Browns was actually his best year, but I mean, statistically, this might be his best run.
And I think they're also coming off a game against a team that couldn't do anything on offense, and a defense that allows you to have success throwing the ball down the field. Two things like that's very compatible for this. But I think now you walk into just an absolute horrible situation. I think the Niners are a team that you call it out all the time. Shanahan, great when he's in the lead.
Yeah,
I think he's going to be in the lead in this one. I think Todd Bowles attacks Brock Purdy the way that he likes to attack people. Brock Purdy's going to eat him up. Unfortunately, as much as I'd like to say Brock Purdy, like he will eat this defense up. And the San Francisco 49ers are absolutely dominant at home. 12,
they're fully healthy.
12 of their last 19 wins at home have been by 2 touchdowns or more. I understand not all of those are Brock Purdy, but a number of them are Brock Purdy. And I believe his tally of 30-point games at home is up to 7. So,
I mean,
massive blowout potential here.
Yeah, I like Baker. I like this Bucks team. I'm bummed I went against them last week. They are still super alive at 9-1 to win the NFC South. Shout out to me. Hashtag sharp. But now Ryan, are we worried about the 49ers looking ahead to that Seattle game? Also a Thanksgiving game, Niners Seattle.
I think the scenario with the Cowboys that it's a little easier to have that spot be on the road. Okay. I think when you're at home, you've had some struggles. You want to rattle these games off. I almost certainly know Kyle Shanahan's talking about how fun was that? How fun was it to take the fourth quarter off? Let's take the fourth quarter off.
They are a front running team. Like when things are going well, they're going well. And then when they're in their tailspin mode, which they were for 3 games, they're cratering.
I also don't think they're looking ahead to Seattle. I know Seattle's winning games, but
it is just, we see this all the time with the Bengals and Ravens. We're good teams that have that Thursday night game coming up, especially if it's a big game, and Thanksgiving night is a big game still. They end up messing it up.
It's a fair critique. I'm not going to apply it here.
Tampa Bay Bucks 10-30 straight up on the West Coast.
I think this just lines up for.
I'm close to pulling the trigger on.
Why is this not the same as Miami? That would be my fair handicap on this?
Because it's
we just watched Baker in a near best case scenario in terms of what they could look like as a team on both sides of the ball, and now they're going into a near worst case scenario.
all right. No one in the
Lay the
chat's
points.
gonna help me out. I guess I'll take the San Francisco 49ers. Hey, maybe you want to
Getting
head.
turdy with it.
Maybe you want to head to some of these Thanksgiving games. Check out some live football in person. I mean, the games are just awesome. It was. I went to the Eagles Rams a couple weeks back. It's just an awesome experience. Sure, is it sweet to watch 12 TVs at home? Yeah, but come on, get out of your house. Like Ryan said, the machines are taking over. Fight back, rage against the machines, and experience football in person. It is fun just seeing the hits, seeing the plays, and you can get great tickets at a great price thanks to our partnership over with Game Time. They got the low price guarantee, and the tickets are low because they're low down in the stadium. Great price, lower fees, better prices. And when you use our promo code SGPN, $20 off your first purchase. I mean, what more do you want from Game Time? Really getting it done. The low price guarantee, of course, basketball's back. Great for that as well. I'm going to be out in Vegas for the week. Maybe hit up a show. I'm definitely going to be looking over on some theater tickets over at Game Time. Perfect time. Take the missus out, spoil her. Use the promo code SGPN, save $20. It'll be our little secret. So download the Game Time app, create an account, use code SGPN for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create the account, redeem the code SGPN for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. And we're also brought to you by Hall of Fame Bets. Giving out so many parlays over the years, Ryan. I don't know how I did it before Hall of Fame Bets, because really a game changer. You want to talk about the machines. The machines are great at stuff like this, combing through the data and helping you decide, hey, is that a good parlay leg to add, or is that a bad parlay leg to add? Of course, they got you covered with the NFL, but also NBA, even soccer stuff, historical stats, data. The deep data button is a real treat. It's great. And you can see like, hey, this is what the parlay should be paying, and then compare it to the sportsbook you're betting at and go, hey, is that a good price? They make it super simple. Red and green boxes tell you whether you're getting value or not. It's just that simple. Stop betting in the dark and join over 30,000 users researching with Hall of Fame Bets to craft more intelligent, data-driven parlays. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app or visit hofbets.com and use code SGPN to get 50% off your first month today. Start researching, start winning with Hall of Fame Bets.
All right, Sean, and people commenting on how we're taking some public sides. Just put a little data behind it. So we track these as 70% or more at the time we record on Wednesday. Those teams, Sean, 36-24 straight up, 36 and 24 straight up, but 29-29-3 against the spread. So doesn't mean much of anything. So I guess we're back to that betting splits don't matter. Maybe Seattle. Again, another 125 kick here. Only 3 late games. I wish they would do 4. 4 in the late window is perfect now that they've introduced you to the quad box, because why, Sean? You can turn off Scott Hansen. This guy makes mistake after mistake.
Scott Hansen throwing the crew under. Guys, can we get the Panthers game up? I guess as a guy who worked in television production, I'm really attuned to when the host is throwing the staff under the bus for their mistakes.
Whenever you mention them, you're throwing them under the bus.
Yeah, he never goes. It's like when you're on a TV show, you never see the host like, "Oh, great joke by the crew." I get it for writing and stuff like that, but he's always like, "Oh, that's what happens when you're watching all these games." It's like, yeah, dude, if you make a mistake, it's very easy. Tampa Bay Bucks are favored by 11.5. No, correction. San Francisco favored by 11.5. Apologies, missed that one. Anyway, moving over to you don't need to go. The screen was showing me plus 11.5, and I said minus. Like he goes out of it. He really thinks he's a god, and I find it annoying. Hashtag bring back Andrew Siciliano.
Yeah, it's sad times now that we have to
one of the
listen
good
only to
Italians.
Scott. Oh wow, Sean saying something nice about Italian Americans.
Yeah,
I don't know. Rainbows coming out of my ass too. Seattle heads to Los Angeles to take on the Rams. I will. We do have a flowchart game here. Little turkey look ahead for Seattle. Maybe this divisional spot, probably not. Rams off the bye. Does sound like Stafford gonna be a go. Although we have been blessed with Carson Wentz press conferences again, so there is that.
I mean, and Carson Wentz. I'm looking at the roster. He's the only other active quarterback now. I'm sure they'll have like that third quarterback
practice squad
break in case of emergency. You know, who knows? We'll have to get forensic files to figure out what's up with Stetson Bennett, but. I mean,
he's not coming back this year.
No,
not coming back this year.
No.
I'd appreciate if we don't even talk about it.
Oh,
I'm doing my Sean McVay.
Yeah.
With all due respect to the situation. Yeah, I mean, not much else.
So I like the Rams. I feel like they've done what is the official flow chart? Because I'm seeing Rams have won 13 of the last 20. Is that correct? Is that what your flow chart's seeing?
That's not the flow chart.
No, okay.
Well, the flow chart's just very simple. We'll just do last 3 years. 6-0 ATS.
Seattle?
No, Rams. First 4. All right, so McVay versus Carroll.
And
first 4 games, 2017, 2018, he was 1-3 ATS. Since then, 8-1 ATS versus the Seahawks. 6-0 over the last 6, 4-0 in the last 4 in LA. I don't know how you want to look at this game, but give me the Rams. You have the injury report. The only thing I would
I was listening to a show, and it's a fantasy show, but I do listen to them sometimes because they're good about like snap share and that kind of stuff. Injuries, keeping me updated. Make sure I get the best info to the people. So I listen to I consume a bunch of data, sort through it, so you guys don't have to. And they said no one wants that.
What are you, Scott Hansen?
No one wants to. Oh, I'm a hero like Scott Hansen. No one wants to have to listen to all the bullshit I listen to just to pull out the nuggets.
I ate this high sodium diet just to be here for 7 hours for you.
But he was talking about how he eats a bunch of high salt so he doesn't have to take a pee break. It's like, dude, come on. We're watching Red Zone. We can take a pee break.
Put that on your tune when you die of a heart attack.
Throw up those highlights that you pretend are live, you fucking fraud.
If I learned one thing from going through the process of my dad having a heart attack, salt's bad.
Yeah.
Salt's bad, Scott.
Except on pretzel crust.
You're pushing that. You're pushing that to America.
Don't
Whoa.
Ryan, careful.
What do you mean?
We're tied into big salt.
Well, I'm on a pretzel crust. That's part of the.
It's your part of your cheat day. I mean, they said they're like Gino, yeah, nice bounce back game. Like what? That was classic. You didn't watch the game. I mean,
Gino, you're looking at the box score.
Yeah,
look at that ADOT.
I don't even know.
Long.
Was the
girthy?
Was the ADOT good on that game?
I can pull it up while you talk.
Because you look at the numbers, you're like 31 of 47, 369, 2 touchdowns. But like, yeah, did you watch the game? Didn't look that good. Almost blew it. And yeah, like he threw a check down to Kenneth Walker that he broke. I wasn't super impressed. I mean, I guess DK Metcalf was a tough guard, but I didn't look at Geno Smith throwing the ball and seeing the field and think like, wow, he's back to that game where he was good, or that stretch where he was good for 7 games in the beginning of the last half of the season. He's really not that good. Now he's like sub Kirk Cousins. He's good enough. And I do think Pete Carroll's a good coach. They have a bunch of good skill position players around him. So he ends up looking kind of decent, but I'll roll with you, Ryan. I'll take the flow chart, and I'll take fading Geno Smith on the road and them looking ahead in this spot.
So his ADOT was actually one of the lowest on the season. 6.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like it felt like eye test. It was a lot of check down stuff that the guys broke because
good
the
yards
Commanders,
per attempt. Yeah,
the Commanders tackling was really subpar. Now you could run into some issues with the Rams, but again, the Rams, they're playing Stafford. They're going to be up for this game, and Seattle really bad against the slot.
The slot. How's the slot?
Cooper Kupp. Let's go.
Yeah, interesting kind of seeing the breakout of Geno good games versus Geno bad games. Big discrepancy. And again, there not a ton to the handicap. Was a bit of a flowchart game for me. What was the spread week 1 when they played?
5.5.
5.5.
Yeah.
And what was the final score?
Rams won.
What, 17? Why did the line's not moved off of that? This is the same number. They just I mean, because you move it for home field, so you get it down to.
You're giving the Rams. What are you giving the Rams?
In this matchup, I'll give the Rams like a point, and I'll give the Seahawks like 2.5.
They won 30-13.
Yeah. So
now the Stafford thumb thing.
He's back.
Okay.
I got a quote. McVay. He's back. Or sorry, Stafford says he's back. Feels great.
All right.
So the math pushes this. The math that I just gave you, 3.5 point move, it pushes it to 2. Like you've made no adjustment on anything here. Rams should not be wrong team's favorite here. That's my take. Jets head to Buffalo to take on the reeling Bills, who just fired their offensive coordinator in spite of all these great numbers about how good the Buffalo offense is. Bills
are very unlucky, right?
They seem to be making mistakes.
None of these turnovers are their fault. They're Math's fault that they can't recover these fumbles.
They're bizarro Steelers. Like, why is this happening? Jets on a back-to-back road spot here, coming home from Vegas.
EPA per play is one of the highest in the league.
And the Bills on a short week here, coming off Monday Night Football, where they lost to the Denver Broncos. I don't know if we factor in the look ahead to Black Friday in the same way we do the Thanksgiving Day games. I doubtful with the back-to-back divisional games for the Jets. So I'm not really looking there. Bills laying 7 -305 on the money line, +245 for the Jets. 40 is the total. They continue to talk about Aaron Rodgers returning, which is, I mean, like now doctors are chiming in saying it might be possible. Like, calm down. And Sean, it seems like I don't remember if any of us.
For it.
Sprinkled.
Me and my AFC, the Jets to win the AFC are here for it.
I mean, I did have a nice size bet on the Dolphins to win the AFC East. Now that's.
Well, I hope are you celebrating injuries, Ryan? I hope you're happy.
No, I'm not. I'm not celebrating injuries at all. But it does seem like we maybe should have faded the Bills in terms of making the playoffs. Because that price was juicy, Sean.
I think we did fade him win total wise, right?
I'm looking to see. Well, 100%. We both like the under 10.5. I'm not seeing anything from any of us on the missed playoffs, but missed by us. But I think in this spot, I don't really know what to think, because what do the players think here? McDermott's now fired both of his coordinators in the last year. He has a team that seems most functional when they're playing a style that he doesn't want them to play. And it seems like at minimum, some of the Diggs friction seems to be related to how the team wants to play offense versus how they're best at playing offense.
Yeah, it's weird because their offense kind of does work, right? Like they were going up and down the field. They get a ton of yards. They just can't figure it out in the red zone. And Josh Allen is clearly in his own fucking head. I've never seen. I mean, someone called him Carson Wentz 2.0, and unfortunately for Josh Allen, I'm seeing a lot of what I saw in Carson Wentz. You're holding on to the ball too long. You're pressing. You are pressing. Sit back, relax, believe in yourself that you're a good quarterback. And he doesn't.
Take the check down.
He's lost that.
Take the check down.
I mean, that 4th down play was a great example where it's like, hey, dude, run for 2 yards. Instead, he's like doing his cannon thing, like whipping into double coverage. And the Buffalo Bills stadium, the environment, it's electric. And normally it is, the crowd is like a huge factor in helping the Bills win. I think if you just looked at it blindly, I would actually grade them as one of the better home field environments. However, and you saw this on Monday night, you can hear the crowd. Not only was there that first early turnover, the Broncos just ripped it out of James Cook's hand, but then on that next drive, Josh Allen throws what looks to be live an interception. You can just hear the guy. You got these Bills fans all wearing their helmets, like texting angrily. Like there's a tense environment that the entire
pressure,
you can just hear the entire stadium's asshole pucker up.
It's the weight. Yeah. It's the weight of a high pressure
expectations
system.
of expectations. The Bills aren't a good team with expectations. They shocked the world in 2020, even though I had Josh Allen ranked as the #1 fantasy football quarterback out of nowhere. That's when they're good, when people aren't believing in them.
Daniel Jones a first round pick for Josh Allen? Who says no? Sean, did you
have you seen any of the talk about Giants trading Brian Dable as offensive coordinator? Because I think that's
Sean.
Brian,
shut your fucking mouth.
No. Let me ask a question. Brian Dable to the Bills for the Bills' first round pick. Are you taking it?
No.
2 first round picks.
No. I'm good with the coach. I don't. Again, okay. I'm in the camp where I think if you get rid you get rid of Dable to do what? To get another guy like Dable, who's someone who can develop a quarterback. Not in a million years that I think my take about Dable leaving Buffalo, causing the franchise to fucking crater, could have been more right.
See, I would,
because what Dable had done, he programmed the man to stop making those dumb mistakes, to take the thing that was available to him. It's the same thing he's gotten frustrated about with Daniel Jones, but in the opposite direction. Not enough risk. And so I absolutely no. First of all, I wouldn't take that trade. I wonder if the Bill. Oh man, I think also.
I think.
But I started out to say all of that to say McDermott doing all of this with the do you think the team was in on? Do you think Josh Allen and the offense was in on Dorsey or in on McDermott? Because you might have created a weird fracture to a locker room.
Yeah,
that is butthurt, emotional, and the modern athlete.
Certainly emotional.
The modern athlete, they're more likely to walk away than they are to walk towards the fight. So,
I mean, Don of Bill's Mafia told us about all this girlfriend
like
drama.
Sands through the hourglass, so are the days of our league.
Steph Diggs didn't like Josh Allen's choice in girlfriends and how things are going. And then, next thing you know, Josh Allen kicks to the curb his regular, normal girlfriend, gets himself a Hollywood girlfriend. All of a sudden, Bills are 5-5, and Ken Dorsey's fired. You almost feel bad for Ken Dorsey because
he's going to be on the Giants soon, I think.
Ryan, if
I'm going to hate that, it's going to really be tough for me.
I heard this as a hypothetical, and it's interesting. And I think they're right.
But listen to the tabloids.
No. If the Bills only had 11 guys on the field for that field goal, the Broncos missed it. Also, the Broncos and Sean Payton. Sean Payton got bailed out so hard. The fact that they tried to run the clock down to do that play where you run out and rush the kicker, that's crazy.
Why?
Take your time, kick the field goal, give him 20 seconds and no timeout.
A 10-second run out fucks you too there. Like there's a million things that fuck you there.
Yeah. What if there's a false start and you have a 10-second run off?
So cute.
You can still kick the field. So let's say they didn't have 12 men on the field. The field goal, they kick it, they miss it.
Does he lose his job?
Yeah. He's still the offensive coordinator.
And yet again, it doesn't seem like the Bills fans seem to be rallying around one point that McDermott needs to go. Like this is a guy who's clearly either lost control because the brain, aka Brian Dable, is no longer there, but he's fired Leslie Frazier. He's now fired a guy who I don't like anyway, and Ken Dorsey. But what's next? Who gets fired? Is Sean McDermott live in the next coach to be fired market? If they lose to the Jets outright,
no, they'll run home. They'll run it out the rest of the season.
If they lose to the Jets outright at home,
I just don't think they're. I don't think there's someone.
What if they score
promote.
3 points this week?
I just don't think there's someone that they can promote as interim head coach
because they fired all the coordinators.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like I think in some ways, Bill Simmons or someone was comparing to that. What was it? I'm blanking on the action movie where the guy turns. I think it's one of the what's the Bruce Willis?
Die Hard.
Yeah, one of the Die Hards where the bad guy just starts turning on his own crew and offing them because things are going poorly. And that scenario makes sense.
Matthew Smiley, special teams coordinator.
Yeah, like who is the head coach? I mean, they just made Joe Brady the OC. So I think they're going to run it out with Sean McDermott, but I don't see.
Looking at the staff,
I mean, unless they win a playoff game, I don't think Sean McDermott's bad.
They got a lot of guys that look pretty young. They have senior offensive assistant Mike Shula. He's coached things before.
He knows Don Shula.
Yeah. Other than that, you got a lot of younger looking guys here. Very interesting. I just wonder, like, has something been fractured here? Because it does seem like you fired someone who was performing fine at their job.
100%,
and most likely not the problem.
They're all up in their feelings. Now you have 1 week. What are you going to do differently?
Joe Brady's a bum. Like, you can't get excited about Joe Brady.
On the other side, you are betting on Zach Wilson, which is incredibly painful.
Oh yeah,
no one wants to do it.
Who cares? Give me the points.
Zach Wilson, 10 games, 0 of which he's had a positive EPA. No Matt Milano, still obviously should be a good game for Breece Hall. But again, I thought the same thing against the Raiders. This is just a flow, Ryan. This is a flow chart week. Game. It's a flow chart week. The Jets always play the Bills tough. Josh Allen versus the Jets. He's 6-4, but 9 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. He's not great ATS. In the 10 games in the Josh Allen era, 7 have been 1-score games.
Yeah, I mean,
these teams always play each other close.
Don't you just think of the first game?
Yeah, I mean, Josh Allen threw a bunch of interceptions. What is he doing now? Throwing a bunch of interceptions.
Remember when Josh Allen got that? Bonus?
This Jets team is just going to be rock hard.
He got that Jets defensive back $250,000 bonus.
Yeah, in
one game for his season performance. They're
pressing. They're pressing.
Yeah,
Jets for sure.
Yeah, 100%. And I do wonder what Robert Saleh thinks at night. When he like, I don't understand how the Jets didn't go after Josh Dobbs. That felt like a bad move. If the Jets had Josh Dobbs, they would be contenders to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, how do you not trade for Josh Dobbs? And now Cleveland must be kicking themselves because they were close to trading for Josh Dobbs. Now, meanwhile, Vikings bring him in, and all of a sudden he's rallying the troops. Like, why would you not?
And football
is like a 6th-round pick.
Football offenses are complicated, honey.
No, imagine this Jets team with Josh Dobbs. It would be awesome.
You can play that game with a lot of teams this year. Meanwhile, teams are signing Carson Wentz. That's the other take I keep hearing. Giants should have signed Carson Wentz. Fuck you. You don't watch football. Vikings head to Denver. Mile high. Oh, what's this? Broncos 3-game winning streak. Sunday Night Football. They're going to be excited in Denver. That's for sure. Vikings come to town with, as we mentioned, Josh Dobbs has some experience at elevation, catching 2.5 points here, plus 120 on the money line. Broncos minus 140, 43.5 is the total. Vikings have not lost the game since Justin Jefferson got hurt. Is he back this week? I haven't read as much of the cryptic, like he's not going to play this week because they're kind of in a playoff run or a hunt.
I mean, he's chatting it up with Josh Dobbs and
like they're new buddies. Like all of a sudden,
he's off the IR slot, right? So why would you take him off the IR slot if you're not going to play him? I guess I don't understand this process. If
you have time from that point to active to, I don't know. I don't know why.
No, but I'm just saying, like, roster construction.
When did they take him off?
The 14th. So what's today?
Because last week it was like, I'm not going to be out there unless I'm 100%.
Yeah. So if you take him off the IR, you're using a roster spot on him. That would mean, I think at the very least, it's pretty close, right?
Yeah, and the discussion was almost like, no, he's gonna slow roll it because he doesn't want to play this year or whatever that angle is.
Yeah, I did, but now he seems like energized by Josh Dobbs. He sees how popular the Vikings are. Kyle P, of course, noted Vikings fan, saying you got to take the Vikings. It's like doing cocaine, which is and it was a cocaine special last week. I think it's going to be another cocaine special this one. Let's be honest. Broncos should have lost that game against the Bills. I know the spread was never really in doubt, but they also choked a bunch in the red zone, especially against the Bills defense that wasn't particularly good. I think partially I'm just going to take the Vikings because I know I'm going to be rooting so hard for Josh Dobbs. If I bet it, I'm going to hope this gets to 3 because I do think the Vikings should be catching a little bit more points. It's a non-conference road spot at elevation, which Josh Dobbs is an astronaut, so you would think he would be able to handle 5,280 feet if he can handle.
That's low.
Leaving the Earth's atmosphere.
That's a good one.
But also, this is a situation spot. It seems like actually a good time to fade the Broncos because they have the emotional East Coast win on a Monday night. Now you're coming back to Denver on a short week. We even saw Pastor Russ in full effect, where he's just like, "Yeah, we believe, we always were believing. We never stop believing." That defense, I heard it. He talks like he really talks like a pastor. He's just like, saw a lot of junk being talked about our defense. I know those guys were good. It's like, wow, subtle jab. We all know they let up 70 points. Broncos defense is better. I was so pissed as soon as the game kicked off. I'm like, the Pastronaut, Josh Dobbs. Why would I go against this guy? Stupid. I'm not going to do it again. Give me the Pastronaut. Even if I'm chasing here a little bit with the Pastronaut mojo.
You are chasing.
Yeah.
This Broncos team's good.
No, they are.
I mean, granted, they still needed a small.
Or good's like an interesting word, but they've looked so much better from what they look like. They feel really good.
They have a plan.
Yeah.
The numbers are not going to reflect what they are because of how bad they were early in the season. And clearly Sean Payton was right to talk shit about Nathaniel Hackett. It just took some time to correct the ship. Coming off the bye, some of the final touches come on, and now you're playing good ball on defense. You're playing a good enough ball on offense. I think this is a great matchup, and I have a feeling. I think Sean Payton's going to win the battle versus Brian Flores. So I actually like Denver here. I think Denver. I watched a team that it wasn't. They played a good game. They played with swagger against Buffalo. Like they were the more confident team in Buffalo on Monday Night Football. And I think that's something that reflects on the coach and where they are going as a team. So I'm laying it.
And that confidence you saw in the Broncos, I think you saw in this Vikings team, Ryan.
The problem is that we have seen Josh Dobbs also look like shit for an extended period of time.
We've also seen Russell Wilson look like shit for a decent amount of time as well.
Sure, but I would.
I think I
more likely to think there's a little bit of flukiness going on with the Viking stuff with Dobbs, and just so we're clear, Osborne sounds like he'll be back. Jefferson's still ramping up. Sounds a little bit like the Cooper Kupp thing. He's still ramping up in practice. So.
Again, I don't understand why take him off IR if you don't think he's going to play. I don't understand that.
Yeah,
but maybe they think he's close and they
still got another week and a half in the window. I'm on Denver. I think Denver's defense has a better plan for Dobbs. And
Ryan, the move is here. Vikings, great teaser spot here.
Oh, look at you, Vikings! I don't think I mentioned it, but Vikings are catching the majority of the bets.
No, come on, Passionate, of course.
On Sunday Night Football, 43.5, pretty high number. That kind of stood out. And again, not a total guy, but now that we're dealing with an NFL where we never see numbers north of 48, I start to notice when these 43.5 here, a little high for this matchup in my mind. All right, Super Bowl rematch, Monday Night Football. Both teams off a bye. I feel like they did that intentionally.
Oh yeah, they know what they're doing.
The look ahead was 2.5. The number is now 2.5. There are some smatterings of threes out there with some like minus 120, 125 juice. 45.5 is the total. Eagles plus 125 on the money line. Yeah, I don't. The Kelsey Bowl. I'm certain we're gonna have a lot of Jason and Travis talk. A lot of the parents. A lot of Taylor Swift.
I saw on Prize Picks you can take the over combined touchdowns between Jason Kelsey and T Kels. That's
Who's
what I
T
mean.
Kels.
Oh, Travis Kelsey.
Oh, okay.
Instead of T Swift, I've even called him T Kels as a way to knock him down. Now,
why wouldn't it just be T Kelsey? You shorten in the name just to make
like it because the T Kels sounds like T Swift.
Got it.
Right. So T Kels and Jason Kelsey combined, you can bet on their more or less touchdowns. It's set at 1/2. Now, my dream is that Jason Kelsey somehow scores a touchdown. Travis Kelsey does not. And Prize Picks has to pay that out. That is my dream. But I'm not going to be betting it because they think T. Kels is going to score a touchdown. Ryan, Monday night, it's going to be a little chilly in Kansas City, which is great because, as you know, revenge is a dish best served cold. Jalen Hurts has his revenge. 25-2 straight up the last 27 games as a starter, giving his knee a nice little rest from being banged up. Eagles do struggle against the tight end, so I think that could be an issue. But this Eagles defensive line, I think, could fuck up Patrick Mahomes. If you're, and I'm sure we'll talk about in the props. The stuff I'm worried about, I'm actually worried about Mahomes scrambling because I do think our pressure is going to get there. So the Eagles are going to have to be super disciplined when it comes to rush lanes.
In the Super Bowl, did James Bradbury cover Kelsey?
I don't know.
Giants had a lot of success against Kelsey, putting Bradbury on him.
Yeah, I mean, I forget who Bradbury was covering Juju Smith-Schuster when he allegedly held him on that last.
I'm just saying. I think if you treat like the tight end angle for the Eagles, I think if you treat Kelsey like he's not a tight end, maybe.
Well, yeah, and they don't. Yeah.
What else do they have? Like, there's a million. One of your best cover guys should be on Kelsey.
And I think they might put. I wouldn't be shocked if they put Slay on Kelsey. Now, Andy Reid, of course, you'll hear supposedly good coming off a bye. But what about Nick Sirianni? I mean, Andy Reid might be 60%. Nick Sirianni 100% against the spread coming off a bye in the regular season. 2-0.
Okay.
So
and what's Andy Reid's sample? Like 80 games?
No, it's like 18-10. Oh, which is not bad. Hats off to Andy Reid. The Eagles are going to be supremely motivated. And you remember Jalen Hurts against Tua. What? There was no way Eagles were losing that game. I feel very similar about the Eagles in this spot. This is a
cell phone
massive
background image game.
This is a massive get up spot for this game. I don't think there's anyone on the Chiefs that can guard AJ Brown. I don't think there's really anyone in the league that can guard AJ Brown, especially this season. He is going to have a massive game, and I think you can run on the Chiefs a little bit. And as much as we joke about T. Kels and is T. Swift going to be at the game, I think at some point that has to be distracting for T. Kels. He spent the week in South America being like arm candy for Taylor Swift. You're telling me, do you think Jalen Hurts is doing shit like that? No, he's working out, he's getting treatment on his knee, and he's studying his ass off to take down the Kansas City Chiefs.
So do we have any reports on the knee?
He's a full participant in practice.
Well, they wouldn't have released that yet because they haven't had an official practice because they play Monday.
You're right. So we'll stay tuned.
Sean Bott leaked out some inaccurate information there.
No, he's been a full participant the entire time he's been dealing with his knee injury.
Yeah, so I mean, one was rejuvenating in South America, and one was rejuvenating in a hyperbaric chamber.
Yes.
This is a tricky one for me. At 2.5, it does seem a little easier for me to find my way onto the Eagles here. I have heard you talk about how much this game was going to matter to Jalen Hurts ever since he made the loser confetti his lock screen. And I think most importantly, this is a great teaser leg because I do think the Eagles. I think you did mention the Chiefs as a good run defense earlier in the show, and now you mentioned that they're not that good against the run. I do. No.
Well, maybe I misspoke. Their defense is really good, especially compared to previous defenses. They were able to shut down the Dolphins' run game. However, if there was a weakness on that Chiefs defense, I think it is to the run. So to clarify,
I would agree with that. And when you look at specifically their line yards, which essentially is going to measure, the push, they're in the bottom 5 in the NFL right now. So something that the Eagles happen to be quite good at, which is basically having success on basic ass shit where I'm just going to push you backwards. What do you call it?
QB sneak.
The brotherly show.
No, it's a QB sneak. Safest.
So I think this could end up, again, not a totals guy. It kind of strikes me as the kind of game that if the Eagles get up a little bit early, they put a stranglehold on the game. They're able to be physical. I saw someone in the chat mention that Bolton is out Not all the way Milano, but certainly has an impact to their run defense, and probably a little bit of the reason why they've ticked down. So,
well, and I saw in the chat they were saying Jack Stoll anytime touchdown. Well, Dallas Goedert is out,
of course.
If you remember the Cowboys,
the electric mustache bet.
Cowboys dirty play, just breaking a guy's arm. I mean, what is this ECW?
Take that back.
What do you mean?
Take back that.
He
take.
grabbed his arm.
Take
and broke
back
it.
that take, dude. That's a hard. You don't want that take on record with the way people tackle today. There was nothing dirty.
I think Albert O might be the. I'll stay tuned to the Monday Night Prop Show, because I mean, I'm looking at some Albert O's 50-1, Grant Calcaterra's 65-1. I wouldn't go.
Who's going to start?
I wouldn't go Jack Stoll. Well, that's the interesting thing, because I think maybe Jack Stoll starts, but
no one does all of the stuff he did.
Calcaterra, I think, still might be in the concussion protocol. We'll see if he cleared during the bye week.
Albert O is the play. Just
Albert O, anytime touchdown, 10-1, first touchdown, 50-1. I have a feeling. Again, tune into the Sunday night show where we break down the Monday night props, but I think that's where I will end up.
Yeah, it's
as far as like interesting props, and I think Julio also is a guy, because I think they're going to run for. No, I'm not kidding. I think they're going to run more 4 wide receiver set. So Julio and Zacchaeus, I think, are interesting.
Is that just some like plugged in intel?
No, I mean, just from what I've seen, like you watched that Commanders game, I think, where Julio had a touchdown. It was out of 4 wide receivers. I wouldn't be surprised if they use a little bit more 4 wide receiver with Goddard being out.
Can I make a equally bold prediction?
Sure.
Is there a chance they run more 2 tight end stuff and just really bulk it up and get physical and put like Devonta Smith and AJ Brown out wide and pound the rock?
Yeah, I'll be interested to see game plan wise.
I kind of have a hunch that they're going to come out and we're going to be talking about how they just beat the shit out of them.
The Julio stuff is, to me, less interesting as far as like catches and yards, and more going back to the anytime touchdown stuff, because he is a big target, and I think Hurts likes him there in the red zone. But I'm with you. Maybe like the move is against the Chiefs is to bring some physicality. I certainly wouldn't be surprised if they're trying to let the offensive line impose their will on this Kansas City.
Yeah, Chiefs team. I think if you break down this unit, you kind of do want to attack the Chiefs on the ground right now. Their pass defense has been all right, so I think even with how well AJ Brown's playing, I think I'd probably not want to take my chances, and just if I felt like I could beat him up front, I would. All right,
give me the Eagles plus 2.5.
All right, as I mentioned earlier, no Falcons this week, so I won't be picking them. Gardner Minshew on a bye, and who knows? Bill Belichick could be off to La La Land. Saints also on a bye, sitting pretty. All right,
Brian, what are you doing? What's your official pick?
Oh, I'm on the Eagles.
Okay.
Yeah. No, it would be hard for me to want to take the Chiefs in this spot. There's just so many reasons why the Eagles would be much more motivated. And I honestly, happy birthday. Like just the fucking water and shit you're drinking down in South America. Like I'm not even like just that's a crazy thing to be cool with. If you're the Kansas City Chiefs, like that feels like a step over the boundary. Like in Germany, when you have a game there, cool. But on the bye week, going down, catching a little malaria, I don't know if that's the best idea. Lock dog tease, Sean. Do you want me to go first? Because last week was not great for us overall as it's
a team thing, right?
Organization.
Yes, I did go 2-0 with my locks, but it's a team thing. I feel like maybe,
but we still went 1-3-1 in the circuit. So even with the 2-0 and the locks, we didn't get there.
No, that's what I'm saying. It wasn't a good.
So you want to go first?
I think I should, but if you want to go first, you can.
Nope. Happy to go second.
Okay.
I mean, I know exactly what I'm going to do, but I'm happy to go second.
All right, first lock, Cincinnati Bengals.
Oh, we're Thursday night, huh?
Yep.
All right. Shit got weird.
Dog.
This is what happens when we get knocked out of Survivor. You're just gonna go right back to the Bengals.
No, I mean
punish him.
Joe Burrow as a dog. I love that spot.
Oh, no.
Give me the Philadelphia Eagles on the money line.
We've fallen off the rails.
What do you mean?
Oh, this is
why are these crazy plays?
I've heard nothing. It's not. It's like a who's who of. Continue.
For my other lock,
I mean, I agree with both of these so far.
Okay. I'm considering Jets +7.
Oh, I know exactly what you're going to do.
Really?
Yeah.
What would you guess? What I'm going to do?
I don't want to do it until after you've locked it in. I don't influence your locks.
Okay.
I mean, I could, but it's not something I'd like to dabble in.
Bears +9 is very interesting, Ryan.
Okay.
Very interesting.
Okay.
Do
you want to phone a friend?
What's the phone a friend?
You told me you were maybe going to run something back this week.
What was that?
A pick, a team. You sometimes play teams and not numbers. And
oh yeah, all right.
This team is maybe playing against a guy with a 3-letter acronym.
Enough playing around. Give me the Steelers. Lock it up. I mean, I'm going to be betting a lot of money on the Steelers. I may as well lock them up. For my tees, give me the Rams plus. Give me the Vikings +8.5. Give me Miami down to 13.5. Although down to 7.5. Miami was in lot consideration. I'll be honest. And then other tees. Give me. I can see. Give me San Francisco down to 5.5.
Ooh.
So
slick
lock
numbers there.
Bengals +3.5. Dog Philadelphia Eagles. Hungry dogs run faster. Vikings on the tees. Miami on the tees. San Francisco on the tees. Another lock. It's got to be the Pittsburgh Steelers. Kramer.
Lock.
Yes.
Los Angeles Rams.
Wow.
Flow chart.
Wow.
My God.
Man,
you're probably wondering. I mean,
Carson Wentz is definitely not starting.
Stafford's playing.
Okay.
No, 100%.
Okay.
Yeah.
Carson Wentz see a snap.
No.
Okay.
Or maybe to kneel it. Maybe at the end to kneel it out.
I like it.
All right. Why are you wishing for Stafford to get knocked out?
No, I don't. I'm just.
Sounds like you are.
I like the Rams play, but the fact that Carson Wentz is their guy next to Stafford is terrifying to me. But the stuff you read that had you more confident on Stafford, I'm glad, because the stuff I read was more wishy-washy, but I didn't dive in deep.
Okay. 2023 would be complete with a Carson Wentz resurgence as well. That's just something.
I mean, everyone left Baker for dead, and McVay got a couple good games out of him.
Yeah. Lock number 2, Dolphins lay all the points.
Okay. Yeah, I Dolphins were close to being a lock there. Like I'm not usually one to lay a big number, but makes a ton of sense.
Dog. I told you the Giants don't lose to the Commanders, but I'm not going to play it.
Oh, okay.
I'm not going to play it.
Why? They don't lose
because there's a much better dog on the board.
Really?
Yeah. The Lions lay flat.
Oh.
Bears win on the money line. Justin Fields gets his 6th NFL win. I think it's 6. Tease. The other dog that almost
he has 6 wins.
Sorry, 7th win. The Jets money line too was very close because that franchise is broken.
Well, and you could talk me into
broken.
I mean, all these division dogs, Bengals, Steelers, Giants, even I know you're not with me on that one, but the Titans, Jets. I think a lot of those are also live on the money line. So stay tuned to the VSiN show where we talk paper ticket parlays.
Jets, Bears, Giants, round robin.
I mean, I could see that
alluding to that.
Could see that.
Tease. Steelers +7.
Ooh.
I like that. Jags -0.5. Carefully calculating this one. I like your Niners down to 5.5. Near lock potential there.
All right. So for the circa millions, we got Rams,
Dolphins, 2 teams from the NFC North or AFC North, and
Cincinnati +3.5, Pittsburgh +1.
I'm just going to suggest we take the Bears.
All right. Yeah. I like Chicago as well.
Bears or Jets? I would say Bears or Jets. Which one?
I say we go Chicago, getting the bigger points.
Yeah.
Yeah. So circa millions, Rams +1, Miami -13.5, Cincinnati +3.5, Pittsburgh +1, Chicago +3.5. 9.
Sean, if we hadn't been eliminated from the
what would
Survivor,
we have done?
the flow chart. Oh man, this would be a hell of a week too. We would be on Houston.
Wait. Oh, because we weren't on Houston last week.
Wait, is that wrong?
No, that's probably right.
Yeah. Houston taking on Arizona would be the play we were on. Wow.
Well,
electric.
We're not.
Let's see if we can get knocked out 2 weeks in a row.
Shout out again to everyone in the second place for Survivor. Shout out to Corey Pinkston, Barking Dog Properties.
Shout out to him, 3K. But not the people still alive. I'm officially.
I'm out, so I'm pissed.
Yeah, I'm fully out and no longer a wreck. So I don't want to talk about Survivor. Don't touch it.
Sign up for the Patreon Pick'em so you can win that $100 NFL future, a paper ticket which we will mail to your house.
Thank you for participating in the Sports Gambling Podcast.
It's going to be a Cowboys ticket. I hate this.
Please don't win please don't enter if you're a Cowboys fan. For the Sports Gambling Podcast, I'm Sean, stacking the money green. He's Ryan.
Stafford is back, Sean.
Kramer, let it ride.